Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the From Chaos to Peace podcast, where I talk about how clutter is so much more than you think, and we put a spiritual twist on clearing that clutter to get organized. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. Well, hello, my friend. I'm your host, Conny Graf. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you so much for being here. Today I want to talk about the powerful energetic shift that's happening right now, because both the Sun and Jupiter have moved into the sign of Cancer last week. And what does that have to do with clearing clutter, you wonder? Well, with the Sun in Cancer, the sign of our home, our sense of belonging, our emotions, and our roots and ancestors, our focus also shifts to that of our home and belonging. The Sun acts like a floodlight or a spotlight that is pointed at our home inside and out. Now, this happens every year in June at the Solstice, but this year it's a bit special because this year it's not just the Sun that puts the focus on our home. At the same time, Jupiter also moved into Cancer, and Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, growth, and also expansion. He's known to expand everything, the good and the bad. So with Jupiter being in Cancer now, the focus will really be on our home, our inside home and our outside home, our emotions, our sense of belonging, our families, and our roots. And again, Jupiter is known to expand everything. So if we have chaos in our home, in ourselves, in our families, in our emotions, those will be expanded too. Now let's reflect real quick, because Jupiter has been in Gemini for the past year, and it was the time of information overload. I sure felt it. You probably did too. Now Jupiter moved into Cancer. So it's most likely going to be about emotional overload, not in information overload, but emotional overload, and also emotional entanglement. And of course, chaos and clutter in our home and life have to do with emotional entanglement. So that's the connection. The Sun and Jupiter put a spotlight on our home and our emotions, and Jupiter might expand our chaos, the physical and emotional chaos. So the day the Sun moves into Cancer is also the summer solstice, right? Or the winter solstice on the southern hemisphere. And that has happened last Friday and Saturday. And this shift of the Sun from in the northern hemisphere having longer and longer days to turning around, and we were having shorter and shorter days again. So this shift invites us to pause real quick, to reflect, realign, and honor how far we've come. And then we take a breath, we feel that shift, and we begin again with new intentions into the second part of the year. So if we take a few minutes to reconnect with our hearts, our homes, our families, and our emotional truth of who we are, in terms of chaos and clutter, this means we want to look at our home and see how we can create an outer sanctuary. It becomes now more important to create a safe space, a home that is a sanctuary, that feels safe, calm, and nurturing, especially while the outside world gets crazier and crazier. So focus on your home, focus on your comfort, and focus on what you surround yourself with. Notice what spaces and rooms in your home help you feel grounded and at peace. What kind of physical environment nourishes you and your soul? And on the flip side, where in your home do you feel drained, triggered, or uncomfortable? What needs to be decluttered there, and what needs to be cleared out there and let go, so that you feel calm and safe and at peace in that room too? this goes very deep, right? And now I want to put a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek pro tip into it. But it's all about our comfort too, right? So the tongue-in-cheek pro tip is, if your home is in chaos, go out to your garden. It won't bother you there. I saw this the other day on social media and I thought it was brilliant. So maybe you do have a garden or a balcony that now in the summer months feel like a safe space, a comfortable space, a comforting space, right? If you don't have a garden or a balcony, you may want to go and take a walk in a park or in the woods. It's definitely the case for me that I find a lot of peace and calm in the wooded area of my property. Usually I walk my dogs along the fence line every day to make sure the fence is okay so the horses can't get out of our property. But right now the wild berries are out, and that means the bears sit in the bushes. So to respect their space and not put myself and my dogs in danger, I haven't walked in my own woods for a while, and I really miss it. And I can't wait to go back there to find my peace again. But luckily I have a garden that I feel at peace at, and I have a home that I actually feel calm and safe. And I want that for you too. My podcast is full of episodes about how to create such a sanctuary in your own home. You could start with episode 248, Your Home is a Mirror of Your Soul. Okay, let's move on, because the other day, the Consulate of Switzerland here in Canada had a Facebook post up that asked what Heimat, that's a German word, Heimat, means to us Swiss abroad. There's no direct English translation for the German word Heimat that carries the depth of emotional, cultural, and even spiritual meaning that Heimat has. It's more than home. It's also more than homeland. It goes deeper. It's where our heart, our roots, our sense of belonging come all together. Maybe we could call it soul place in English. So when we want to create our inner and outer sanctuary, we can ask ourselves, what does home or soul place feel like to me? What reminds me of home, even if I'm not home? How does it smell, sound, look, taste? Or maybe I have certain rituals that make me feel at home right away. What makes you instantly feel safe or grounded? A room in your home, a person in your life, a specific blanket maybe? What are some of the healthy tools you use for self-nurture and for self-care? Those questions become more and more important now with Jupiter in Cancer. And more important, the crazier the world gets out there. The crazier the world gets out there, the more we have to create the sanctuary and the peace within ourselves and within our immediate environment, which means our home and our families. And with families, we get to the next topic. It's important that we choose our people wisely. Part of how we feel at home is by surrounding ourselves with the people and relationships that make us feel safe, calm, and nurtured. So I'd like to ask you to notice what people you feel good around and want to spend time with. What kind of relational environment nourishes you and your soul? And on the flip side, with whom do you feel drained, triggered, or like you can't be yourself? How could you reduce the time you are around them and increase it with time spent around people where you can be yourself? If the people that trigger you are family, investigate if there's something unresolved, that an old story that still affects how you show up when you are with them. And then ask yourself, how could you resolve this to be more at peace in yourself? Even just bringing awareness to the situation without forcing a fix on the outside or with the other person even knowing. Just within yourself, maybe a shift of perspective so that you could feel more at peace with them, especially since they're family. And then also with the topic of surrounding yourself with good people, make sure you don't give your emotional power away. There's a tendency with Jupiter in Cancer to idolize others like gurus, coaches, or authority figures. But no one outside of you has all the answers. So don't idolize anybody. Listen to what they have to say, but then return to your own heart, to your own wisdom. You are your own best guide. So stay rooted in yourself. Tell yourself, I honor and protect what's true for me. I take a stand and uphold my boundaries. So to wrap it up, today's episode, the Sun and Jupiter have both moved into Cancer, and that puts the focus, the spotlight, the floodlight on our home, our sense of belonging, our emotions, and our roots, ancestors, and family. While the world is crazy out there and chaotic, we are asked to be more present, be more heart-centered, be more emotionally wise. It is about rooting ourselves in our physical home, creating a sanctuary where we feel safe, rooting in our emotional inner home, creating our inner sanctuary, rooting in our families and relationships, where we also feel safe and held, and not giving up our emotional power, not giving it away to anybody outside of us. Okay, my friend, that's it for today. And if you'd like a resource to go deeper and set powerful intentions around your home, sense of belonging, and your emotions, you can download the New Moon in Cancer Intention Setting Guide. This guide helps you tune into the unique energies of this new moon and this period, this theme, right? It helps you identify and set meaningful intentions aligned with your vision and your goals, and it helps you take small actionable steps and to stay on track so you actually follow through. So I have this guide really set up so you can set the intentions and then review them on a regular basis and track your progress. So whether you're craving more clarity, want to call in fresh energy, or you need a gentle nudge to stay on track throughout the week, so this guide is for you. And I have the link in the show notes. It's connygraf.com/intention-guide. But the link is in the show notes. Thanks for listening all the way to the end. Have a beautiful week and talk to you next time. And don't forget to create more peace in your life. A few minutes a day does keep the chaos away.